Time for my favorite show.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shannon Bream, along with Kennedy, Harold Ford Jr., Jesse Waters, and you know me, love him, Greg Gutfeld. He's a star. It's 5 o'clock in New York, and this is The Five.
Those that have fled to Illinois or to California, be reminded that the FBI's assistant has reportedly been enlisted, and their powers are not confined to any singular state's boundaries.
The gerrymander wars are heating up big time. There was no quorum in the Texas State House today to get those 5 new Republican seats. That's because the 50 Texas state Democrats were a no-show, blowing off the deadline to come back in the face of some pretty serious consequences. $500 a day fines, no more direct deposits, and the threat of arrest, with the FBI apparently now on their tails. California Governor Gavin Newsom is about to hold a news conference with some of the Texas holdouts, following the lead of other blue enclaves, Illinois and New York, even though critics point out those states have way worse gerrymandered maps. However, New York Governor Kathy Hochul still insisting Democrats are the ones who play by the rules.
I've never been a hand-wringer on the sidelines. I'm a street fighter from Buffalo, and my blood is boiling over this. And so is the other governors, the other Democratic governors. If we allow the Republicans to get away with what they're attempting to do, this legal insurrection of our U.S. Capitol, then we'll have a generation of redistricted, gerrymandered seats that are skewed against Democrats. And when will we ever get the balance of power, at least in Washington?
But the Democrats are about to bring some nukes to this street fight. One of the Texas runaways, State Representative Jean Wu, is likening the situation to a Cold War.
This is very dangerous. That everything we're doing right now smacks of the Cold War. And what we're talking about is launching nukes at each other. And ultimately, it will be the American people who are hurt. Democrats have no choice but to respond to this in the same way. If you launch missiles at us, we have to launch missiles at you, and it will never end.
5 new ruby red Republican seats would surely sweeten the pot for President Trump, who has now reached 200 days in office. But critics like Stacey Abrams, not fans.
Among the many other vile things that Donald Trump has been called, including tyrant, liar, scam artist, he is also an aspiring dictator, supported and guided like a puppet by a cabal of tech billionaires, Christian nationalists, and xenophobes who all have his ear and understand government a lot better than he does.
So if there's mutually assured destruction, they don't have the fissile material to go toe-to-toe with us. We're going to survive. They're not. So I say bring it on.
Well, and it sounds like, Kennedy, that's what you're going to get. You've got these states threatening to do the same thing. New York is one of them. But the fact is, a lot of these blue states are already so gerrymandered. There's not a lot of, left to squeeze out of that orange.
That's where the desperation comes from, because they started this process. And, as an independent voter, I don't like it. I don't like it in Texas. I absolutely hate it in California. California is essentially a monarchy. It is a one-party state, and they've gerrymandered themselves into a corner. They really don't have anywhere else to go. And, I'm surprised that there's any room left in Illinois, because J.B. Pritzker takes up so much of the oxygen with his big personality. And he's laughably hypocritical when he is trying to shield these poor Texas Democrats when his state is gerrymandered to the point where 44% of Michiganders voted for President Trump, yet they only have a 14-3 representation, Democrats to Republicans, in Congress. And there's something about that it doesn't pass the sniff test, but it's also mathematically dishonest. So, and these people who are up in arms about that, they started the arms race. I never liked it. And then Democrats tried to take the high road in Congress, trying to pass legislation that made it through the House, failed in the Senate, that would end the gerrymandering. And the reason they did that is because they had already blown all their powder. There are no more states where they can push Republicans up against the wall. And I guess the only thing we can do is get rid of the two-party system and invite more parties to come in, because right now it is so factionalized, it is absolutely paralyzed.